Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Camilo Vieira. I'm a PhD student at Purdue. I did my undergrad and my master's back in Medellin, Colombia at Universidad de EAFIT. And so Juan asked me if I could come and share with you about their work. The name for this work, for this presentation, is a plugin for integration between Moodle and HUBzero using IMS LTI. IMS is a consortium for standards, so it was funny for me in the previous presentation. This may be one of those 14, 15 standards, but at least this brings a lot of different organizations that are in the area of education, and still, like, having standards is a good way to be able to communicate different tools. A little bit about the context and the motivation for this. Cyber infrastructure, in this case HUBzero, helped to get together researchers, educators, and share different resources, including simulation tools. For NSF, the goals of cyber infrastructure comprise high-performance computing, data analysis and visualization, virtual organization for distributed communities, and learning and workforce development. So here's the question: how to make easier to use HUBzero for learning and workforce development? And the proposal we bring here is to be able to communicate HUBzero with different learning management systems. In this case, we're going to talk about Moodle. So we are using a standard that is LTI, and our tool provider would be HUBzero, and our consumer would be Moodle. Or, for practical purposes, any LMS who is LTI compliant, and I'll bring some examples of those. So Moodle is a learning management systems. Teachers can create courses and can register students there to collaborate, to do a set of activities. The three types of users that Moodle has is course managers, teachers, and students. As I say, Moodle already includes some activities and tools that can be used as part of the courses, but Moodle also allows to include additional plugins by third-party developers. HUBzero also offers a diverse and a big set of tools that are used both in research and in education. But if we have these two different systems and we ask the students to go to one system and to the other and have two different users, it's really hard to get them into the play of doing all these things, but also to keep track of what they do and what is the results of what they do. So the goal is to make the HUBzero tools available from Moodle or from any other LMS that is that implements this standard. So how can we do that? HUBzero is built on Joomla, and Joomla as a content management system has three different ways of extending functionalities. One is creating components, the other two are modules or plugins. The difference is that a component brings a new functionality. As a whole, the modules would extend a functionality of a component, and the plugin would change an existing functionality. So what Juan and his team made was to create a new component to be able to communicate HUBzero with all these different LMS that are LTI compliant. And the choice was because they really needed a new functionality that didn't exist before. So what is LTI? LTI is a standard called Learning Tools Interoperability, and as it is called, the purpose is to communicate different systems. And as a matter of fact, one of the examples they give when they describe the standard is to bring external tools to learning management systems such as Moodle. These are just some of the examples of LMS that are LTI compliant or LTI certified. Of course, Blackboard, Moodle, Sakai are very well known and broadly used. So this is the flow that LTI proposes. So we have the LMS here. Not here, there. Okay. So we have the LMS. The LMS would send to the external tool the user, the role, and the context under which it is called. And then the user will be using some tools from that external tool or some activities. And then after the student or the teacher is done, the external tool will return the results or even student performance with the task. It uses OAuth, which is a protocol to authenticate and to communicate different tools. So it requires a key and a shared secret to sign the message. This allows to keep the security of HUBzero intact without making any trade of security there. So as I said, we had a provider and a consumer. Now the provider would be HUBzero. So the plugin is actually on HUBzero, and that makes it the provider. And this is a snapshot of how it looks like. And it's very simple that they just add a new consumer or a client. In this case, it would be Moodle. I don't know if, I think it's hard to read, but well, here it says Moodle test, and then here, down here, we have the shared secret and the key. And as easy as that, then we can call it from Moodle. So Moodle would be the consumer. Moodle is already LTI compliant, but it's not the only one. And we only needed to parameterize where is the provider. So just adding an external tool here. And here we have the URL for the HUBzero that they had installed. And the only different thing here is that it says option ComTool, I forgot that. Well, it's a ComTools provider. And the authentication here with the key and the shared secret. And just with that, we have here, like, this is the Moodle interface. So we have here the hub. It's just like with a puzzle piece. And then here we have what it would bring. So it's actually like the Moodle. And we are just authenticated with the username from Moodle. So we have access to all the tools in a hub. In this case, it's just a basic HUBzero, but it could be non-hub, clear hub, this hub. Different challenges or future steps are there. This was basically just to connect and to be able to bring the HUBzero into Moodle. But in this case, we still don't have that the student does an activity and return the value. This is part of the LTI standard, but was not tested as part of this project. Also, if we want to allow the teacher to parameterize solutions from Moodle, we still need to make some tests on that, but there is an optional metadata that we can use to define certain parameters to be able to send to different simulations or different activities in HUBzero. So that is all I had to share about the plugin. I'd be happy to answer any question if I'm able to. Just one thing, I also wanted to share this email address, apollo@eafit.edu.co, and if I'm not able to answer one of your questions, they'll be happy to.
They will.